Hey guys, it's Sam with two M's, and welcome to this MYXclusive interview. As you guys can see, I have a very special guest here with me. He is a Filipino DJ who was born and raised in Amsterdam in the Netherlands, and he has a very inspiring story and career and has played shows all over Europe, the States, and Southeast Asia. And he is actually calling us all the way from Amsterdam today. Everyone, please welcome Lawrence Apaga!
Yay!
Woo!
Thank you for having me. Thank you. It's an honor to be on the
Yes.
show, really. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's an honor for me that you woke up very, very early for this interview.
Especially for you guys, especially for you guys.
just so everyone knows, to everyone who's watching, Lawrence is
Yeah,
calling us from Amsterdam, like I said, and he said it's around 5 a.m. where he is.
yes.
5 a.m. That is a crazy early day, but thank you for joining us, Lawrence. We're so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, but how have you been? I know it's been a lot in the past year. How have you been? Like, what have you been up to recently?
Yeah, for me as a DJ, it's hard because normally I've
Mm-hmm.
been touring around the world to Asia.
Mm-hmm.
Like what you said, I've been touring to Asia, Southeast Asia, US, and
Mm-hmm.
Europe. But during the pandemic, everything is closed. So the clubs,
Mm-hmm.
festivals, everything. So I was focusing on music wise, on the production. And luckily, I got signed by Warner Music Philippines. So that was for me. That was also another step of my career, like
Mm-hmm.
producing and releasing tracks through Warner Music Philippines. And that's actually what I've been doing the past year or 1.5 year
Mm-hmm.
since the whole
Mm-hmm.
pandemic started. And so that's actually basically what I was doing, working on my tracks.
Mhm. Yeah, at least, right? I mean, I can imagine as a DJ, it must have been really hard for you because like there was no like clubs and like no festivals to play at. But on the bright side, at least you were able to kind of create music and produce music too. So how is it getting signed to Warner and then, really putting your music out there and producing your own music?
Yeah, the funny thing was how I got signed by Warner was
Mm-hmm.
before the pandemic started. I was playing at a first festival in Croatia in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a huge festival, like 10,000 people. But they asked me to make the official anthem for this festival.
Whoa.
Yeah, and that's what I did with the whole team that I was working on, and we made the track, and then and somehow it came on the radar on Warner Music Philippines.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the first start before the pandemic. How I got the connection with Warner, and then I don't know if you can say I'm lucky because after that the whole pandemic started. But
Mm-hmm.
since I made that track, I got signed by Warner, and then I think it was 2 or 3 months later, we all went into a lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like for me as a DJ, it was not good because I had no shows anymore. But
Mm-hmm.
music wise, yeah, for me it was perfect. It was the right time. I was still working on the music during that time. I had
Yeah.
more time because normally I was
Mhm.
touring all over the world.
Yeah.
So I didn't have much time when I was touring all that time.
Yeah.
So when when the pandemic started, I had plenty of time because I
Mhm.
had no shows anymore. So
Yeah,
that's how
for
I got
sure.
into Warner.
Yeah, and what a crazy thing, life, no? Like,
Yeah,
you create the song and then it ends up on their
yeah.
radar, and then the pandemic happens, and you're like, "What is
Oh.
happening?" And then,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
exactly.
And then you
Yeah,
you get signed during a
yeah,
pandemic, and
exactly.
you're
Yeah,
kind of like forced to create music, which is, I
yeah.
think, a great thing, like you said, because you were so busy. I can imagine before
Mhm.
with touring and
Yeah,
all of that. So it's perfect, kind of how everything
yeah,
aligned.
exactly.
I
Yeah,
mean,
for
I,
me it's perfect, but I can imagine
mhm,
for other DJs, yeah, it's like
yeah.
because the DJs who didn't produce, who are not producers, who
Mhm.
just playing at a club or at a festival, yeah, for them it's like
Yeah.
it's not that good.
Yeah, or
If you could
they
say that
they had
wrong.
to, yeah, for sure, or like they had to find other ways to like
Exactly.
really
Yeah.
create
Yeah.
music, right? But now
Yeah.
I'm curious, since you're signed to Warner Music Philippines,
Yeah.
I mentioned in your intro that you were born and raised in Amsterdam. So have you been to the Philippines? Like, when was the last time you went back to the Philippines?
Oh wow. The last time was before the pandemic, and that was
Oh, okay.
December 2019.
Oh, okay. Not too
Yeah.
long ago.
No,
I
not so
mean,
long. I think
yeah,
the
yeah.
pandemic started around November, right?
2020.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
The first month, I think it was
yeah,
January
yeah.
1. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I you know what they tell about where it all started. It was in Wuhan in China, right? That's
Mm-hmm,
that's
mm-hmm,
what
mm-hmm.
that's what they're saying. But
Yeah, yeah.
I was there in November. I was
Mm-hmm.
playing there
Oh.
in Wuhan, and then in
Mm-hmm.
December I went to the Philippines, and then
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was in January when the whole lockdown started.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, so wow, that's crazy. You were actually
yeah,
there, and then you
yeah.
came to the Philippines. And what
Yeah.
do you remember most about that trip, the last trip that you came to the Philippines?
Lots of alcohol. No, I mean, no, because I was playing I played in what was it? I was playing in Baguio, Cebu, Manila,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
Angeles City. So
Mm-hmm.
I had a
Wow.
tour in Philippines as well. So
Yeah.
yeah, for me that was it was amazing.
Oh,
Touring
that's
all over the Philippines. So yeah,
yeah, that's so crazy. I love that, you're able to do that before the pandemic started
before the
to,
pandemic started. Yeah,
and you were able to tour around the
yeah,
Philippines and share your music. But
yeah.
since it's your first time here on Mix with me, I would
Mhm.
love to get to know more about your journey because you have a very interesting story too. So I would love to know, Lawrence, like when did you actually discover DJing and like you actually wanted to do this?
Uh, when I was, I don't know how old I was, but it was like
Mhm.
15 plus years ago. I
Mhm.
saw a video. I think it was one of my cousins. He showed me a
Mhm.
video, and it was a
Mhm.
DJ from the US, and he was doing all these tricks and all the scratching, and I was like, oh wow, that inspired me. It's like, oh, that's entertainment because you
Mhm.
have to, you have to learn the skills and you have to entertain the crowd as well.
Mhm.
So when I saw the video, I was telling him like, "Oh man, I really need I want to learn how to DJ like that." So
Mhm.
that's how I started actually. So I bought my decks. I was practicing at home and everything, and then suddenly I was like I think from my school they asked me to play on the school the school party if you can
Mhm.
say it like that. So I was playing there, and from that point I was playing at little bars, and then I went to clubs, and then I was playing like in all the big clubs in the Netherlands, and then
Oh.
yeah, and then there's I don't know, it was not a good moment that time because
Mhm.
everything went great, and then
Mhm.
then I got hearing problems. Like
Mhm.
I had to stop for actually the doctor told me like if you keep DJing like this in 1 or 2 months you won't hear anything anymore, nothing. Yeah,
Ooh.
that shocked me. So okay,
Mhm.
so I had to make a decision. It's like okay, DJ or you want to hear the whole
Here.
yeah exactly.
Yeah.
So I had to stop, and then I
Mhm.
was like okay, what should I do now? So I started to find a new like a regular normal day job from Monday to
Mhm.
Friday. And then funny thing was a friend of mine he owns a bar here in Amsterdam, and he was telling me like if you want you can be like the music director here in Amsterdam for this club or bar. And then I told him yeah, but I got hearing problems, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I can do it.
Mhm.
And then he was like okay, just if you want you can just try, just stop by whenever you want. And
Mhm.
and for me, I was like, okay, should I do it? Yes or no? And then okay, I went to the bar. I was playing there for I think for one day in a week, and
Yeah.
then my ears is like, oh, everything's all good. So okay, cool. Then I went to then another guy asked me like, can you play for me at this club? And I was like,
Mhm.
I'm not sure, I'm not sure. And then suddenly the funny thing is, when I was playing at the bars and at the clubs, and I was thinking about, I think I don't have any problems anymore. I don't know if it's a miracle. I don't
Oh.
know. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, so that's crazy because I had to stop because
Mhm.
of my hearing problems. And then I went to the doctor, and the funny thing is, he said not there's no problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, what? Well, okay, okay, never mind. So what I did was started. How do you say it? It was like I was reborn.
Mhm.
I was like, okay, I can DJ again. So why not DJ again, like what I did before? Because everything went well. And then
Mhm.
that's what I started with playing all over Europe to Asia to the US. I played like in Ultra Miami, Miami Music
Mhm.
Week, Ultra
Crazy.
Europe. Then I
Mhm.
went to Southeast Asia, and then yeah, then I got my track got signed by Warner Music. Yeah,
Mhm.
now I'm here. So
That's crazy. Like with the whole hearing thing. But I'm really
yeah,
curious, like, how did you know? Like, was there a point like you couldn't hear, or was it like
yeah,
muffled, or like
yeah,
what was that like?
yeah. It's like when I was after a gig. Yeah, I think most DJs have that problem. It's like when you hear like a noise.
Ringing.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
hear, and then when you go to sleep, it's like I still hear that noise, and then suddenly,
Oh.
like I don't hear any tones anymore. Like I don't hear like high tones or
Mhm.
the lower tones, and then it's like then for me it was like a sign, but like okay, I think there's something wrong with my earring, with my
Mhm.
ears. So that's why I went to
Mhm.
the doctor, and then
Mhm.
that's what I heard. Like if you keep DJing like this, yeah, then yeah,
Oh, wow. I can imagine because I know that ringing in the ear, kind of like when you go to concerts and
yeah,
like after it, you can just
yeah,
feel it in your
you
ear
can
and
feel it.
yeah, your hearing is like
Yeah,
not the same, but it eventually
exactly.
goes away. But for
Yeah,
you, I can imagine it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
just there.
Yeah, they're telling me
Um,
like they're telling me like there are the small hairs in your
yeah,
ear,
yeah.
and normally
Mm-hmm,
they stand like this.
mm-hmm,
So,
mm-hmm,
but now for me it was they stand like this. So that means that it was not possible to recover to
mm-hmm.
become like this the hair. So and
Oh
that's
my
what they told
God.
me. Like yeah,
Yeah.
you have a really big problem.
Yeah. Oh wow. But like it eventually just kind of went away. Is that what
Yeah,
happened? Like you didn't do anything.
nothing.
It just came back.
It's like maybe because I didn't go to the clubs anymore. It's like
Mm.
I got some rest maybe for my ears.
Mhm, mhm.
No, like hard sounds. Not going to yeah, not turn on the radio too much.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe that helped because not right now.
Mhm.
I'm yeah. Before the pandemic, I was DJing. So
Yeah, that's so cool. I feel like,
yeah,
maybe it just really needed rest. But I
yeah,
can imagine too, like the moment you realize that it's kind of back already, it was like oh my God, like my hearing is okay.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
so funny. Yeah, but I can imagine too, like, what was it like going back to DJing after that? Like, were you hesitant or like, were you scared? Like, would come back?
Actually, no. I was more
Oh.
excited because yeah, because DJing is like my passion.
Mm-hmm,
It's my hobby. So
mm-hmm,
when I didn't notice any problems, I was like, okay,
mm-hmm,
let's go, like
hmm.
let's do it right now. And then yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that's so crazy. I love that.
yeah,
I mean, I
yeah,
mean, I feel like DJing is it's such an amazing like thing because like you guys see everyone in the crowd and there's so much energy and all of that. So what is it like when it's at your shows? Can you describe the feeling of what it's like to be like at a DJ who's like, really giving the people the music and all of that?
yeah. It's like before you go on stage,
Mhm.
let's say you go upstairs to the DJ booth, then you see
Mhm.
all the people in the crowd, and it's like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now. This is my job. You have to
Mhm.
just give yourself, just perform. And then
Mhm.
and when you're standing on stage and you see all those people, it gives you like an adrenaline kick.
Mhm.
And then after the first song and they're screaming or they're jumping and everything, then you feel pumped as well. Then yeah,
Mhm.
it's like the best feeling as an artist, I
Yeah.
think.
I can imagine. It's like a feeling that can never be replicated. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I feel like that's so exciting to be a DJ. But after, of course, like with the pandemic and everything, you said that you had more time to produce your own music and to create your own music. So, could you tell us more about what was that like, and what was your process when it came to creating your own songs and sharing it with everyone?
Yeah. So when I made the festival song, it
Mm-hmm.
was signed by Warner. I was working with my own team here in Amsterdam.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my team, Searches Bucken, Brian. Yeah, we were working on a few songs because we know that we didn't know how long this will end.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, the whole pandemic. It's been 1.5 years now. So and we made a lot of tracks. We still have a lot for now, but now we have 2 tracks released on Warner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like I said before that, I didn't have that much time to have been working on the tracks. So this was the right time for me. Going into the studio, working with a lot of artists, Filipino artists as well. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so it was for me. It's like um, working on my own tracks right now. I think it's good because after the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic, I think there are not a lot of DJs who are in the picture anymore because they didn't produce any tracks, or they're not in the they how do you say it? Because you're not in the picture anymore. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people will forget those DJs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So for me, it is good that I'm signed with Warner now, and I released the tracks with them. Um, for me, it was like, okay, so when all the pandemic ends, I hope it will end soon. I
Mm-hmm.
will I will, I will still be in the picture as a DJ,
Mm-hmm.
and go to all the clubs and play everywhere. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I'm hoping for.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like, I totally get what you mean because without the shows and like without the festivals, of course, like you have to find new ways to connect with your
Ex-
audience and like the people
Exactly.
who used to watch you. So I think producing and putting out your own music as a DJ too was a great move
Yeah.
for you as an artist too. And
Yeah.
you released your newest single, which is called Kings of the Night. So let's talk more
Eh,
about this. Like, what was it like creating Kings of the Night?
Yeah, the funny thing about Kings of the Night
Mhm.
is it has been, I think it was produced 2 years ago already.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was released this year only on
Mhm.
let me think. I don't think it was March, I don't know, 5 or something. March 5th.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the that track, it was made like 2 years ago. We went to
Mhm.
the studio. We worked with a lot of other artists. Was playing on the guitar. The one who is singing, that's also one of my co-producers, Alexis Bucker. Uh, he's not here right now, but
Mhm.
yeah, we worked together on this track, and
Mhm.
yeah, this was the second track that has been released on Warner, but we also have a podcast called
Oh.
that's called Kings of the Night.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that was the promotion for this track as well. And yeah, so what we did was we tried to promote this track Kings of the Night, and we made this podcast. And
Mhm.
the podcast is about to build a bridge between dance music and the Philippines, because for me, I've been touring like all over the world,
Mhm.
and I
Mhm.
know a lot of people who's been playing or performing normally, but
Mhm. Mhm.
because of the pandemic, yeah, there was no gigs or shows, so that's why we started this podcast, so to keep in touch with everybody. So it's like for us, it's like we made the track Kings of the Night, that has been released by Warner, and then we also made
Mhm.
the podcast Kings of the Night as
Mhm.
well. So it's like a deal or something.
Yeah, it's like a complimentary. You
Exactly.
have a song and you
Yeah.
have the podcast. But I
And
love
then
that you guys. Yeah, I love that you guys created a podcast too. Like, what?
yeah,
It was interesting. You said you wanted to bridge the Philippines and dance music, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah,
So could you talk more about that? Like, what about that? Like, how do you connect the two, like the Philippines and
yeah.
like dance music?
Yeah, like for example, my first single, Seven, it's
Mhm.
called Seven, that was
Mhm.
released on January 1st.
Mhm.
The singer of this track, she is from the US,
Mhm.
and what we did was at the podcast we invited her, so
Mhm.
we talk about her, about who she is, and everything, and to let the people know in the Philippines who the singer is from my
Mhm.
track. So the people from the Philippines will know who the singer is on my track from the US. So it's like we try to build this one on from the US
Mhm.
and the Philippines. And then we had like another artist. Um,
Mhm.
oh, and actually, he's not an artist, but he's like the sound engineer. He's from New York.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
we also connected him with Asia. So people in Asia or Philippines will know who I'm working with. So it's like
Mhm.
globally, we're trying to connect everything. And also
Mhm.
we have like guests from Warner as well. We have like the
Mhm.
number one female DJ. You have
Mhm.
a UK singer who got platinum records. So it's like we're trying to connect everybody on this podcast, so everybody in the Philippines will know that there are a lot of Filipino or Filipino related artists all over
Mhm.
the world. That's what we're trying to do with the podcast.
Oh, I love that. So it's really, showcasing like these Filipino artists to a bigger audience, which is I think a really cool thing,
Exactly.
and being able to talk to them. But I was also really
Yeah.
curious about Kings of the Night. So why
Yeah.
why why Kings of the Night? Like what's the story behind Kings of the Night?
Story for me as a DJ, like
Mhm.
DJs mostly play at night.
Mm,
So
yeah.
for me, when I see the crowd and everything, I feel pumped, I feel hyped.
Mhm,
For me, then it's like, okay, I have to entertain these people. So I
mhm,
have to be the king of the night. I have to be on my top. I have to perform. Otherwise, people will boo you, or
mhm,
they go home. So you have to be at your best. You have to
mhm.
deliver. So that's like kings of the night. Then you have to be like, this is me. I'm the king of the
Yeah.
night. I have to entertain everybody.
Oh, that is so true. DJs are kings of the night. That is so true. But it's very, very accurate depiction of the life of a DJ. But I'm sure after this and after the podcast, people are even more excited for the things that you've been working on. I'm sure that was a lot. I mean, it is a lot. So what else can we expect coming from you, Lawrence, especially with you signing to Warner and like
Mhm.
having the podcast, this new single. What else can we
Yeah.
expect coming from you?
Yeah, this song Kings of the Night soon at
Mm-hmm.
May 28th. There will be a remix pack that will be released also by Warner Music. So there
Mm-hmm.
are a few artists that we invited to make an official remix for it.
Ooh.
And yeah, that the release date is on May 28th. So everybody, yeah, stay tuned for that one.
Mm-hmm.
Also, yeah, I've been working on my newest single as well. I cannot tell too much about it yet. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, but yeah, that one will be great. Also, an artist from
Mm-hmm.
the Philippines as well, upcoming artist.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. Also, in the future, we're working on a big name. Working just doing a collab, but yeah, as you know, I cannot tell anything about it right now. But let's say, okay, in a few months, just stay
Mhm,
tuned for this one. This will be huge. Yeah, what I will do right now. I have a festival upcoming on July. That's also
mhm,
in Croatia. So for me as a DJ, it's good to be back on stage again this July.
mhm,
I will also be back in London in June, at the end of June, Ministry of Sound, and also
mhm.
I will be touring in the U.S. again, Miami, in the summer. So
Wow.
if everything goes to plan, because of the
Mhm,
whole pandemic, because of the whole pandemic thing. But
mhm.
right now, everything, yeah. Let's hope for
Yay, but
that.
yes, that's true. Slowly but surely, we'll all get there. So hopefully
Yeah,
everything does, come true. But
yeah,
we're excited for everything that you have planned. It's quite a lot. So we're excited to
yeah,
see
yeah, yeah.
everything that you have cooking up for us. But before I let you go, Lawrence, do you have a message for everyone who's been supporting you and listening to your music?
Yeah. First of all, thank you for being here on the show, Mix.
Mhm,
Thank you for having me. Yeah, thanks to everybody who's streaming my tracks, who went to my gigs, to the shows, who's supporting me. Um, and yeah, because of you guys, I got signed by Warner as well. I'm here now with Sam. So I hope everybody, yeah, just stay safe as well, and hope you see you guys in the club or festival.
mhm.
Oh,
Yes. But yes, hopefully one day we'll get to see you back here in the
yeah,
Philippines too when everything is okay. But for the meantime, we will, listen to all of your music online. So guys, to everyone who's watching, don't forget to listen to Lawrence's newest single, which is called Kings of the Night, that's available on multiple digital streaming platforms. And Lawrence, where can everyone follow you on your social media?
you can follow me on Lawrence Apaga, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify. These are
Mhm.
Apple Music, all the music platforms. Just
Yes.
type in Lawrence Apaga, and you'll find me.
There you go, guys. So make sure to follow him and find him online so you can keep updated with everything that's going on, especially his music. So thank you to everyone who tuned in to this MYXclusive interview. And of course, thank you so much, Lawrence, for joining me here today at 5 a.m. where you are. So thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having
And
me.
of course, we are very excited to have you here. And thank you once again to everyone who tuned in. This has been Sam with 2Ms and Lawrence Apaga. Woo!